I really want to change how people view how the real world can be interpreted in a film. Um, Often when people watch a film that's set in live action, that's not a cartoon, they see this as the real world. It's like this world that's within its own created universe that adheres to the same rules of this universe. And I resist that idea because what's keeping this? Why? What's stopping someone from walking down the street on a sidewalk, and they come to the end of the sidewalk, and the sidewalk's no longer a sidewalk, but a dog on the ground, and that's just what's stopping that. Like within the medium, there's nothing. There's nothing to say that it can't be portrayed that way. But people seem to see these things as a real world thing, and I resist that. That's one thing I'd like to change, but I'd mostly like to change how people, let me think, view, one second, how people view ironicism in film, and kitsch art, and B-grade style. You know, a lot of time lately within pop culture, there's a huge drive for things being ironic. You know, things are funny because they're bad. Things are funny because it's not made well, but it was made by someone who put their whole heart into it. But they did a horrible job, and that's funny. Or some people even do a horrible job on purpose, and it's funny because it's bad. It's a B movie. It's funny because it's bad. And I want to change how people think about that. I don't. A lot of people assume that these filmmakers that are making these movies that are terrible are these movies are funny because they tried so hard and failed so hard at making a film, and the execution was horrible within the director's range and whatnot. I want to change how people view that. I don't think someone making something not necessarily quote unquote bad, but poorly made or infantile or immature is necessarily makes them seem like makes them bad at what they do. Consciously deciding to make something of lesser quality in terms of production value to create an aesthetic or a universe or a style, or give a context to the type of humor or drama you're trying to create, does not inherently make you a bad director or a bad writer. You just have to be aware of these things, and I resent that people look at a lot of B movies and say, this guy did a horrible job, but this movie's funny because of it. I think a lot of the movies you watch that people treat like pieces of ironic humor are actually done really well for the resources that were given and for the frame in which they created it. And I think I would like to bring a little more connect between the idea of people making something consciously bad and with a serious intent, with an actual thesis behind it, a true serious thesis presented in the form of something immature, silly, or poorly made. It doesn't mean, a bad joke or something that doesn't take itself seriously doesn't mean it can't be serious. And something that's made of poor quality doesn't mean it doesn't have anything to say. That means something. And I would prefer to change that.